talking about learning as a way of accommodating the environment. We're talking about learning as a way to generate an environment. You understand? Generate your own environment. Creating your own new factors inside an existing environment already.
One more last thing.
Oh.
The name of the course for it's called Justice.
Justice, yes.
The prof is his name.
Michael Samuel.
Michael?
Samuel.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it was provided on edX platform, by the way. Yes. Okay. Now, yourself and then... Yes.
If you will say that the learning is a process, and we want to talk about its steps, will we should first start with the goal, or should we determine the intention first, or how will we start? This is the first question. I have two others.
Okay, go ahead.
The second one, you've said that in Islamic tradition, or in way of learning in Islam, they are setting in semicircles or circles, not in rows. So what in that? What is special in that? Why are you doing that? Why we're not setting in rows or something like that?
Why we're doing that now?
No, in general. I'm talking in general. Why they choose this type of
Oh,
setup?
why do they choose this?
Yeah.
Okay.
The third one, the case of the crew that ate the man, and they led us to go to the court and something like that. How did the judge make his decision, and on what? Depend on what? On the situation itself, or in what? Actually, I didn't get this point.
Okay, I'll start with that last one. The judge found him guilty not because of cannibalism, not because of they ate the man, but because they ate him too fast. They didn't wait for him to die. Yeah, this is the English court, 1800s. I'm waiting for Islam Bahedi to talk about it. They're promoting terrorism. I find people are becoming really lame. Seriously, I mean, and you find a person that says he studied in Wales. I mean, anyways, why semicircle? Because the teacher would have equal distance between himself and each single learner. He's in the middle. You know, it's not in the middle of the circle.
Yeah.
So any point, geometrically speaking, he becomes at equal distance with every single person in there. All right. And then, I mean, in some cases, yes, they would do have different rows of that same circle. But I mean, because to accommodate the nature of the lesson. But in talking about the concept itself, why is that? For the teacher to be at equal distance with every other student, just like how the executive government should be at equal distance from every single other government. Anyways, moving on. You find that I'm coming with an intention to talk about things. All right. Okay. Oh, I thought you were talking serious. All right. The first question that you had, what are the steps that we should start with? Start with how he started, with your current state, your current condition, and work your way from there. But if you're talking about a specific field, for example, yes, developing a sense of understanding of yourself and the field, and out of that articulation, you come out with a purpose and an intention, and steps to go. So basically, if I can summarize these two things, develop a strong sense of where you are now, and what are you approaching, or trying to approach. Allow yourself the time to study yourself and study the field that you're intending to approach, or you're thinking about approaching, and work your way through. You'll develop out of that purpose. You'll develop out of that, an intention in studying that field in specific. You'll develop a sense of criteria for a teacher, for a book, and so forth. It comes out from that, from understanding these 2 points. Very similar to what he was doing also. Yes? Huh? I answered your question. Okay, thank you very much. Go ahead.
I see that West succeeded into transferring their traditions,
Huh.
old traditions like all centuries,
Okay.
the English like community into the current or our time right now to make people understand their culture, but we like failed or something to do this this step. So why? What is the reason of that?
Why is the West were able to have the East assimilate with their own culture? Is that what?
I mean, transferring their old cultures, the old
Their old ones
yeah.
here.
No, there. I mean, into their own countries,
Okay.
they succeeded to transfer their old traditions to the young.
Oh, okay. All right. You mean how yes, how they restored their heritage or preserved their heritage through time. Well, I mean, this is a rather big question.
We are studying it like Sheikh like Zamruji or
Zarnush, yes. It's okay.
like those people who are like the fathers of knowledge here
Mm-hmm.
in Arab world or in Islamic countries. We don't understand them, or we fail to reach or to their times. Why? What
Yes.
was the
Okay. You went through a trough. See, I mean, when you look at the West, they had the Greek philosophy, right? But then they went into dark ages. So their heritage were sent to the Muslim world and it was preserved there. Right. And then until they stood on their feet, and then you had your own trough. Your heritage is there now. You understand? And they started not from Aristotle from the very beginning. They started from Avicenna, Ibn Sina, from Averroes, Ibn Rushd, and so forth. You understand? So, I mean, it takes this sometimes kind of shortcuts and then comes back.
So it's
Okay.
not exchanging knowledge?
It is. I'm sorry, it is what?
Exchanging knowledge from...
I wouldn't say it's exchange, but I mean there is this notion of transfer back and forth from different cultures. Yes, you can put it in that sense. All right, two more. All right, the last three questions. Yes, at the back.
Okay. In the beginning, you mentioned that we have to focus on in the process of learning,
Uh-huh.
on our ambition.
Okay.
I think we have to think in the both things in the same time. Thinking in the ambition give us motivation to go through the process.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to focus on the both, not just only the process.
Well, you have to focus on the ambition itself to determine what the ambition is and to develop a commitment. Once that's done, forget the ambition in your conscious mind, focus on the process and revisit the ambition periodically. But if you do both at the same time, one of them is definitely stronger than the other. You know, a homework in the first semester or having a bachelor's degree. Which one is more likely to amuse your mind to think about? You get my point? But you're right in a sense, of course. Yes, sir.
Okay.
And then,
You have mentioned that we don't have the collective intentions.
intention.
Yes. But I think, for example, if we have someone told us the fadl of saying Subhanallah Alhamd, so we all have the intention when we are gonna see it, and we have the same intention of the fadl he has told us.
You might have the same purpose, but see, intention is much different. Intention is related to motivation. See, intention is the drive, meaning if you yourself don't have the intention, you will not act. You understand? See, your action, the saying of Subhanallah, is a result of a psychological working called a drive. It's like a need that pushes you to act using your motor skills in a certain deliberate action. So this is why intention is very personal. That's why, for example, when the Prophet ﷺ was asked how some communities or societies get destroyed, and some people are good people, but many of them are bad, he said what? يُبْعَثُونَ عَلَى نِيَّاتِهِمْ. Right? So that means they don't have collective intentions. Each single person has his own intention that he's responsible for in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You get my point? So you might have, yes, you might have a collective purpose. All of us here have this purpose to attend the course. But every single intention, how you internalize, how you think about this purpose, you yourself is different. Some of us would come here because they have the purpose of studying, but they like to come to Mugyafa. Others would come to try it out. Others to be committed, and so forth. I mean, so you might have a sense of purpose that is universal, but again, intention is personalizing purposes.
So I can have multiple purposes, but I have one.
You can develop a sense as not a purpose, but a sense, a feel of a general purpose. But usually, intention is the personal drive inside of you, psychologically speaking. Yeah. Yes. Last question.
First, I want to respond about our friends that talk about the habit to.
The habit. Okay.
I read in the medicine that we have like we call conditional reflex.
Okay.
Or popular experiment that when someone ring the bell, we give the dog some food. Then we ring the bell and we give the dog food, and we do the repeatedly, and then we ring the bell after 100 times, and the dog will
by repetition
and produce the slide bomb. So in human we also have the conditional reflex.
Yeah.
So I just want to add.
Yes, you're correct. I mean, yes, humans and animals, they both have this habits that you said, conditional reflex. Go ahead.
On the second is the question. Like Hayy ibn Yaqzan in the writing of the Ibn Tufayl.
Yes.
Ibn Tufayl write the Hayy ibn Yaqzan. Hayy ibn Yaqzan.
Yeah, Hayy ibn Yaqzan. Okay, what about him?
So, is it a type of learning, or is it experimentation of learning, or what?
You're talking about the book itself, or what was in the book?
In the book, is it a type of learning?
Yes, but I mean, that will take us a long time, a little bit, to explain. I mean, because not many in here are familiar with the book itself, Hayy ibn Yaqzan. Hayy ibn Yaqzan is actually the original version of Robinson Crusoe. If you're familiar with the book, Hayy ibn Yaqzan is the Robinson Crusoe, so to speak. But I mean, we had that beforehand. And by the way, Muslims have 4 different versions of that book, or actually 5 different versions of that idea, of that setting, or that plot. But I guess I can answer you next time on that, or on the group, to have a much thorough answer at that point. But just to complete the notion that you mentioned about the conditional reflex and habits being found in humans and also being found in animals. The difference, I mean, habits are related to the animal parts of ourselves. You understand? And that's why the Muslim scholars back then, they said that we have al-quwa al-hayawani. You understand? And they would say that we have al-quwa al-nabatiyya. It talks about growth. They think of plants, and when they talk about how actions, physical actions, are being done, they think about this kind of, we're similar to other animals. But at the same time, and I'm talking not into, meticulous scholarship, I'm just talking, generally in a more, casual fashion. But what's really, the difference lies in the fact, in the human soul, the human mind. Developing the ability to generate knowledge that was not previously found in the facilitators of my habits. That I can generate my own knowledge different from my father's. This is one. And the sense of how we develop language. And I mentioned this example last time, how children, they keep repeating, and then all of a sudden you found them, they make their own structure of sentences. They analyzed, they went through this analysis, and they recognized patterns, and from the patterns they did analysis and synthesis. and they were able to grasp these grammatical structures to make up their own and to say their own sentences all of a sudden. This is the human mind. That's what language, understanding language is very important to understand learning as well. Alright? So that's all for today. Assalamu alaikum. Stop. Turn off. Camera. Can you turn off the camera? Camera, can you turn off? Is it on?
He's coming, I guess.
He's coming? So it's still on?
It is still on, yeah. But